Hi everyone, I'm Vixey and welcome to my art channel. Again, I remembered this time to turn the time thing upside down, and we are again going to be continuing on this canvas right here, which is the abstract symbolism portrait. And we're starting to really work in with the purples here. You might be able to see though that we still do have a fair bit of white that shows through, a fair bit of the canvas coming right through there. So this dried part we're going to just go over again today, and I'm actually going to put a little bit of a dab of green, and we're just going to, so that I remember that I am going to get back into the greens over here. Again, I got these beautiful paint pots that are pre-mixed colors, but seriously, you can totally start, if you want just absolute basics, you can completely start with just a few tubes of the primary colors, so your reds, blues, yellows. I would say get white. Black is not that necessary because in fact, my first art class, we completely didn't have black. Like our teacher, she was like, absolutely no, don't use any black whatsoever. Try to get the dark colors by mixing the other colors together, because this can be very overpowering. It can just totally take over your entire painting. Even with just going with the really dark colors. In fact, this one, yeah, this right here that my dad had put on the wall, I hadn't realized, is one of the first paintings that I did, and this one was done with absolutely no black, even though you see some of these dark bits, shadows that are coming in here, and I mean, I made it quite gloomy. Because I had actually read this novel, because this was way back in high school. This was pretty early high school as well. I think it wasn't year 7, but it was probably year 8 or something like that. And I'd just been reading this book that was it was one of those mystery novels. I can't remember the title of it, but I remember the story was that there was this creepy house on a hill that these kids would walk past on their way to school and back. And one day they decided they were going to try to explore this creepy house. And story, if you can see, like, this rose here is the enchanted rose. That, yeah, they all got trapped in there, and then one of them had to find this enchanted rose to break the spell to, like, help them escape it. And that was the inspiration for this. So, you know, sometimes other arts can be your inspiration for things. Yes. Again, I keep forgetting. I forget what I was doing. So that is exactly why I'm going to put this green line right here to remind me that I want to get that part green, and then actually I want some gold. I was saying you can use basic colors, but it is very, very fun to use the shimmeries and the golds, and I mean they just have different pigments in them, and those pigments can give a really nice luster. As you can see, I haven't even bothered to clean my palette, so I'm just putting that right there into the yellow. Grab another brush. Now, again, I have done paintings where it's just been like, I used the same brush and I just washed it very, very often to get it. But I have the luxury of a bunch of brushes now, so I'm going to play with that. but yeah, you can start with very, very little. I encourage you, like, yeah, if you want to just see, like, if it's something that's for you, that you, or you just want to do the one project just for fun, then, like, yeah, you can start with very, very basic things and then build up the collection over time, like I did. These are brushes and paints and things that built over time. And you see, I'm just putting this gold gloss over the top here, just mixing this right in, and I'm just gonna make it like a little bit wavy to get some of that extra texture. As I have mentioned before, I love working with extra textures in here. And as I mentioned before, the base color does often show through the paint, particularly if, like me, I'm working in fairly thin layers that have been watered down with and mixed down. And yeah, keep some clean water, because even pigments in the water can start affecting it. Like, I just dipped my gold into that kind of greenish one, and oddly it's turning it kind of purple. Like, yeah, it's oddly turning it kind of purple because the green is reflecting with the gold pigments or whatever other residues is left on my brush. I'm just putting those there as reminders that we're going to mix into those colors. And I recommend, if you can, to get like 3 or 4 jars of water, because then you can keep your colors like a little more separated when you mix the water. So this is going to be like my pinkish yellows. I've got like the greenish ones, greenish blues, and I'm probably going to get like a purple, like another jar for the more purpley colors, just so it doesn't get muddy. Like, because we don't want muddy colors. We want, like, we want to maintain a lot of this brightness. And again, I love getting right up into the edges, over the edges, just so that it all extends over there. Okay. Right into the blues, I think. We'll get a really broad brush into the blues. Now, the title of this video is the Forget-Me-Not Friends, which back in the day of like plain old telephone lines, not sure if anyone, I'm not sure if people remember that, but I used to have really awful internet. Like, I mean, even now my internet's not fantastic, which is why it takes so long for me to upload videos. But I used to have the plain old telephone line, and this was when, this was like a bit over 15 years now, like, because what, World of Warcraft's anniversary is like on their 18th or something, almost 20th. Anyway, we had started playing World of Warcraft, and as I think most people would know, World of Warcraft, like the big MMORPG, like literally everyone's on there. It was a very, very busy time. And so certain things like trying to jump onto the Zeppelin and stuff, if you lagged and stuff, you'd just fall right through the floor. Sometimes it would even kill you, right? So, like, lag was a really horrible experience. Right, and it caused a lot of frustration, and I would get seriously so worked up and upset about this, that I'm gonna say it, like, hopefully this doesn't trigger anyone, but I would get suicidal over it. I would be like, I'm going to kill myself. It's so, like, hard to do anything. It's just so frustrating. But I am here alive to tell you that nothing in this world is worth dying over, and certainly not something as stupid as being lagged in a computer game. So, but the thing is, I was lucky. I had some good friends. And when I was having a really bad day and going through a really hard time, I had a friend who basically spent the day with me and was very, very patient, very patient. We played the game and went through, and he like waited for me to get to like the dungeons, because we had to walk all the way there. You can just summon people like you can now. And he helped me we ran the dungeon Zul'Farrak, which is the like kind of Egyptian themed sandstone ruins. And I mean, I had a few friends, so like we did it as a group together. And then afterwards we just kind of hung out in the jungles of where's that place again? The one where Zul'Gurub is. Stranglethorn Vale. We just hung out in the jungles of Stranglethorn Vale, and it was Christmas, so like we got those little gnome costumes, and we're just sitting there watching the sunset. In the game, we watched the sun. We watched both the sunset and the sunrise in the game together, and it was absolutely beautiful. And it was silly because that morning, like I said, I was just like getting so frustrated with lag, and I just wanted to kill myself. And then I had this like beautiful moment with my friend that we just hung out together and just peacefully relaxed watching the sun. And I was like, if I had killed myself, I would have just missed out on this like absolutely wonderful, beautiful moment. And he said to me, just remember the happy times, Pinky. The happy, happy times. And just don't forget these moments of friendship and beauty in the world. And I gotta say, that has totally like kept me alive through a lot of things in life. That you just gotta remember the happy times and forget the bad times. Just forget them. Just go. And there will always be happy times and sad times. So, whoever needs to hear this, if you are going through a really bad, hard time, really, really, just don't worry. Good times will come. The bad stuff does leave. It does eventually become over. And good times do come. There is so much beauty in the world. There is so much friendship to be had. There are lovely, lovely moments. And I think we need to start really cultivating more of the friendship. Because, I mean, there's this sort of view these days that, like, of like the friend zone, they say. There's like, especially with between guys and girls, it's like this whole thing about like, oh, if you're not DTF, then you're just like in the friend zone, and therefore like it's a really horrible thing. And it's like, no, friendship can just be a really wonderful thing. Friendship can be like amazing. I mean, take for the show Friends, like it's literally called Friends, right? And Joey totally hits on Monica when they first meet, like in the most obvious oh my god way, right? But then he never actually hassles her about it ever again when she's like, no, and she just wants to be friends. And then, yeah, he ends up being like one of the bestest friends ever. Like, he's just like really cool, and he gets along great with all the girls. And it's like that. It's like you can just have a nice friendship. And like in Friends, yeah, like, you know, Chandler and Monica end up getting together in the end anyway. So this idea of friend zone is like just, it's dumb. It's like seriously dumb. I mean, if you are in a friend zone, right? That just means like you don't have to be committed, and if somebody else comes along that's like totally wonderful, then you know you are free to make moves on that person, right? You're not tied down to anyone. And if you're hanging out with someone and just like hoping that maybe someday there's a chance, right? Then that's like not necessarily a bad thing, but you kind of have to just accept that maybe nothing will happen, and therefore like you can just enjoy the time together and the friendship, because friendship is actually a wonderful and amazing thing that we need more of, and we shouldn't let stupid things like gender orientation and things like that stand in the way of what could be a beautiful friendship, right? Anyway, we'll just get a little bit more of this lovely gold here. Much more of this lovely, lovely gold. I want more of the purple. Get some more. Okay, I want to start bringing this into like heavier blues. As I mentioned last week, blue is actually a lot of people's favorite color. Again, if you have a favorite color, please comment that in the comment section. Let us know. Let us know why you love that color. Really scrubbing in there, because a lot of that white is actually coming through right there. Really dab in, because I really want to cover up that canvas area. I will definitely be going over that spot once things are dry. So build up some layers. You might see where some of the water has like dripped in here, and I've gone over while it was still too wet, and that actually scrapes off a fair bit of the paint. So there is definitely a huge difference between when you're painting over an area that is wet and when you're painting over an area that's dry. When it's dry, you can definitely layer and get more and more layers. And this is no Mona Lisa at the moment, but you know, Mona Lisa does actually have like hundreds and hundreds of very thin layers of oil paint, and that is super impressive, because I did mention earlier I work with acrylics specifically because they dry quickly and they have less translucency. With oil painting, oils dry a lot slower. They do blend a lot more smoothly, but because they dry so they take so long to dry, building up hundreds and hundreds of layers is like a very, very, very long, slow process. So things like, yeah, the Mona Lisa, where it's like that has had hundreds of layers of very thin shellacked oil that has been blended till it gets that nice skin kind of translucency. That is amazing. It must have taken like so much time and so much effort and so much skill, because it, like, with acrylics, like, that's why acrylics are something that they often suggest that you work with, that's usually in student packs and things, to start, because it is a lot easier to work with than oil. They also dry matte. So because they dry matte, I'm kind of a little bit sneaky about that, and as I mentioned earlier, I will use like the golds and like the metallics and the what we have here, I'll just introduce you to, again, I'm covering up the brand names. This is the Iridescent Medium, and hopefully that won't be backwards for you, but I'll actually type that in the description below, Iridescent Medium. And the medium will mix with other colors, so I can then take any of these pot colors and mix them in my palette with a little bit of the iridescent, and then you start getting a little bit of the shimmer. It's not the same as gloss. You can get a gloss medium, which I might invest in a bit later. I say invest because the mediums are a lot more expensive than the regular pigmented paints. So, like, a pot about that size is about $30 Australian, where I am, Australia. Yeah. So if you really want to, like, take your painting to the next level, then by all means get those. But as I keep saying, if you just want to start and you just want to, like, test out on a new project, by all means, the very basic colors is all you really need. And experiment a little with it, like mixing the colors. You can certainly get a lot of really lovely gradients from just mixing the basic colors. And I mean, I find it very relaxing just to, like, paint. Like, I find it relaxing to just take my time to really build up the colors that I want. I have been able to, like, when I get inspired though, when I get inspired and I just, like, go, I can do, like, several canvases. Like, it just happens. But that'll be like, I will just be like, wake up in the morning and just paint till it's like 2 a.m. the next morning, like just the whole day, like 24 hours, just like suddenly that, like, just spark ignites. But, and I think that has something to say about the fact that, yeah, if you're inspired, you probably do work a lot more when you're inspired than if you're just feeling like, I have to do the daily grind every day, which is something, like, to say for routine though. Routine is great because if it's a decision that you're gonna have to make every day, you only have to make it once. Like, you have to just go, I'm gonna do this every day, and then every day you do it. You don't even have to think about it, right? So it just happens. So yeah, like, I mean, I have dedicated to saying that I'm going to try to upload a video every day. I'm not going to be real harsh and say that, like, oh, if I don't, then it's the end of the world. No, we're going to be very chill about this. But I am going to try every day, and so when I wake up in the morning every day, I'm going to think, you know what, I'm going to get up and do that video. So, yeah, again, this video is starting to get around the 20-something-ish minute mark, so I hope to see you in the next video. Please like, share, subscribe. It really helps the channel, and it will mean that I can make better videos. And let me know if you want to have, like, longer videos or shorter videos in the comments. Certainly if I do get a certain amount of subscribers and can go live, then I can do, like, several hours, like, well, probably about 3-ish hours, like, uninterrupted. So that is a possibility if we get enough subscribers. So thanks for the support and for coming onto my channel, and I hope to see you in the next video. Okay, love you, bye.